Cada vez son más los influencers que dan el salto de las redes sociales y empiezan a profesionalizar sus trabajos. Ni hablar cuando empiezan a trabajar en series y en películas. En el caso de Rudy Mancuso tuvo un plus extra porque no solo fue actor, sino que además debutó como director en Música, la película de Prime Video que protagoniza junto a Camila Méndez. Según su director de fotografía, trajo estos conocimientos del mundo de las redes sociales que sirvieron un montón al momento de rodar la película.
We now return to Mira Akien and Contre with our latest interview.
These small, finite details is what makes Rudy's genius.
Rudy, are you even listening to me?
I reached out to the producer who sent me the script, and I said, I love the concept and all, but I'm just not understanding this, how we're going inside of his mind. And he goes, "Oh, let me send you this this sizzle that he did for proof of concept." So he sent me the Vimeo and the password, and I watched it, and I was running for the phone. I was like, "Oh my God, now I see how there is no vehicle. It just happens." And it's because it just happens, and we continue to show that, it trains the audience to understand that we're going inside of Rudy's mind. Each time he went into a synesthesia moment, we wanted it to feel a little unique each time. So the audience saw what he's feeling, but in a different way each time.
I'm Rudy.
Isabella.
Isabella, prazer.
Prazer.
It's his first time, his directorial debut, so what did you teach him?
So what I really taught Rudy is how to take his vision and make it cinematic, right? Because a lot of his works on YouTube and everything was, it was very good. It's funny and so creative and everything. But I just took the cinema lenses, the cinema camera, the way the camera moved and all that stuff. I think we really elevated it. We then took all the different tones and grains and everything to then intensify it. Then I really taught him how to prep a movie, right? Because he had really never done anything like that before. So I really introduced him to the shot listing process. And then once the shot listing process was done, every day he knew exactly where he was moving. Haley knew where she was going. The rhythm performers knew where they were all going to be. And it just it gave us the ability to take a very small independent budget and elevate it to the look of like 60, 70 million. It was a beautiful melding of like this new age of influencer and how he does his artistry, and then kind of the let's say the legacy cinematography that always feels like a 5-year-old that adapts to whatever the director whatever their mindset is.
For as long as I can remember, everyday regular sounds, I turn into rhythm.
How musical was the set? Besides, of course, the numbers of music you have to do for the film, but how musical was it? Like, were you listening to music while you were shooting? Were you playing with music while you were shooting? How was that?
Oh yeah. So the one thing that was so unique is usually what you do is you go into a studio, you craft this amazing, like say the diner scene. You craft that whole thing with all the instruments, whether they're trash cans, plastic drums, doors, whatever. You would go into a studio, you'd grab all those elements and you'd do it in a studio. And they would air band, air drum, air percussion to this music. That's how it's normally done on every movie, right?
Yeah.
Rudy didn't want to do that. He wanted to record it live in the environment.
Wow.
So when I walked into the diner and I went around the corner in the diner and there was a audio mixing board that had 300 faders on it, I was like, whoa. And then I was like, hey, why aren't we in here pre-lighting the diner today? And my gaffer goes, well, they're pre-miking. And I'm like, pre-miking? So they pre-mic'd, they literally hid 99 separate mics within that whole diner for the cash register, for the bell, for the slamming of the door, all those things were all recorded live. So we would perform, and then if he said, I like take 4 the best, then we would lock take 4, and then we would start to shoot. So this was so unique because those kind of things are not the most production friendly, because obviously you're taking a lot of time to pre-mic a location. Took them 2 days. You're taking a lot of time to record that on location, and then we have to shoot it. And we only had 2 days to shoot it. So, but it saved Rudy so much time in post by doing this way, because you felt the ambience of the space. It's not something that he had to try and recreate and then, like I said, bring all those instruments and everything into it. That was his genius. This is why, this movie, I think, is striking such an amazing chord throughout the industry, because it's just done differently.
She's different, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's funny.
Oh, tell me more.
But now Haley, I think, wants to get back together.
Tell me less.
Each character had their own color tone and their own grain structure. So I wanted Isabella to be, golds and reds and oranges. And then I wanted her, the camera, to be handheld. So she was, loose and free, and she was okay with herself, and this is who she was, and she didn't have to figure it all out. She just wanted to experience life. And hers was saturated, right? So with those warms came saturation, and his colors were normal. So there was nothing saturated, there's nothing desaturated, it was just normal. And then Haley was kind of cold. It had like a slight cyan undertones. It was very clinical, felt like you were in a hospital. She was no grain at all, and we desaturated the color tone as well. So you had these 3 characters, and Rudy's world obviously was Mom's world. So Mom was the one that was normal, that was the day in and day out, supportive, being there for Rudy. So she was kind of the, let's say, the divining rod, the lighthouse to his mind in between the 2 girls.
What?
What did you just say?
I didn't say anything.
We basically took a rom-com playbook. Okay, what happens in a rom-com? Okay, so they fall in love, they fall out of love, they, all the things that always happen in a rom-com. When the standard rom-com went right, we went left. When the rom-com went left, we went right. Everything we did was to counteract what anyone has ever experienced in a formula rom-com. And that's what I really thought, which the critics really responded to. They constantly said, this is not like your normal rom-com. It doesn't, and even the ending.
Just give me a second. I'm sorry, let me just talk.
Rudy, I have to go.
Come on.
When you finish a feature film, you put it into a test audience, and the test audience looks at it and they're like, it was slow here, and I didn't know what this person was doing, and what is going on here? You get all those comments, right? He was able to do that on YouTube. If a skit hit 20 million views, he knew he had struck a chord. So we wrote it into the script. If a skit didn't do well and it didn't test well on YouTube, didn't strike a chord, we didn't do it. And then if Amazon said, I don't know about this, he would just show them the video and the 400 million views, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So it was almost like we were able to test the movie before we even shot it.